Well, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do something different this time. We're going to actually do a project that has a purpose. It serves a purpose. Not some idiot mobile. It should be operated by anybody. And it starts with this pile of garbage and mess over here. Bunch of unsplit wood, or as you can see, partially split wood. And we're going to go into the pole barn and you'll see why. Look at that gem. So, as you can see, maybe you can't, but it's obviously homemade. It's got this old L-head Briggs. I'm sick of pulling it. It starts every once in a while and sometimes it doesn't, and now it's angering me. So the end result is we got a V-twin. I pulled off some other junk pile. Got the same size shaft because this motor goes into the actual pump, hydraulic pump. So that should go in there somehow. Don't know how, but it'll go in there. But as you can see, it weighs as much as probably the shop that it's sitting in. It's all heavy steel, giant I-beam. That front axle, look at that front axle. It's like it's some sort of maybe a trailer, but maybe a car. I don't know. No, it's actually a car. Looks like, yeah, tie rod ends, kingpin. So this is some sort of truck axle, maybe out of a front of a Ford of some sort. Only because look at those cool ass freaking steel wheels with dog dish hubcaps. That's probably the reason I grabbed the thing from the guy that was tossing it. But it does split good when it's working. But yeah, the motor's just getting to be kind of a pain in the ass. And I tore this motor out of something a year ago or so. Kept it off to the side, and this seems like the perfect place to call it home. So we're going to put that on that. It should be a pretty simple project. I've said that a billion times, and it never is. So it should be a simple project. So let's get the tearing down. Let's get that motor plucked off of this thing. Probably get the gas tank and that framework out of the way. Clear myself a nice home here, and then maybe actually take it outside and pressure wash it, because it looks like the time it was cleaned was probably, I don't know, when that front axle was built in the 50s. So let's get to work. I cleaned up pretty decent. Just got all the grease off of it anyways, or most of it. So I think next we're going to set this motor just in the cavity here. See down there is the receiving end of this. This goes on the engine, obviously. So I want to check and see how long that shaft is, so I can locate this on the motor correctly. We obviously need motor mount bolts drilled, holes drilled. And I'm going to get rid of this, I think, for now. Not sure where it's going to end up. Where the motor is, I need to be able to, cylinders out this way, air this, I don't know. So we'll cut this off and set the motor up here, see where we end up. Alright, it's out of the way. Now let's get the motor set in there and see what happens. So, I'm going to turn the light on for you guys. The exhaust had to be moved. The exhaust was right there, just like it is here. And that was obviously in the way of stuff. I couldn't orientate it in any way that would make it look or fit better. So I did that. So we'll just have to do some exhaust work, put the muffler over here somewhere. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the shaft is bottoming out just a little bit. So what we're going to do is lop off about maybe a 1/4 inch off the bottom of that shaft on the engine, and then we should be able to line everything up. And the plan is we'll get the little collar thingy, wherever the hell that went, there it is. We'll get this thing on the motor, cinch down-ish, and then we'll get everything lined up, and then we'll mark and drill holes. And then the motor will be bolted in. And then we got a shitload of other crap to do. So let's get the motor out, cut that shaft off a little bit, not much, and then get the collar on and set it back in there. See how she looks. Alright, irritating problem. Oh, lights. So thirritating problem, this hole isn't big enough for this to fit through. So I'd have to undo this, the set screw, line, and try to line. No, I'm not doing that. So we're going to actually bore that out to this, a little bigger than this. And when you've got a blank hole like this, no centering pin, the easiest way is just to drill a hole in a piece of wood. Then we'll clamp this down tight, and then we can drill through. This will stay centered and cut our metal. So let's do that. So I'm not going to deal with trying to take that off and line everything up going in there. I'm too lazy for that shit. So let's drill. Alright, so we've accomplished some stuff. Got the holes drilled for the mounts. Thinking right here. Got the pump and everything aligned there. So, next we've got to turn this around. So the muffler was on the engine like this. So the muffler's on this side, pipes underneath. We obviously can't do that because there's shit over here. So we're going to turn it around and do this. So what I've done is I've cut the pipe off like so. What we'll do is we'll tack it back into place. Help myself with alignment. I'm just going to leave this whole long, obviously this is going to sit out here like this, but we'll tack it back in place onto the header pipe. And then we can come in and cut a section out of this and bring the muffler in here somewhere. I'm thinking probably about right there, maybe. I don't want to get too close. This is the intake here. Not that it's a big deal. They're blowing hot exhaust on the intake side. Being it's not really looking for big performance. It's already way more horsepower than the thing had before. So let's get the welder out. We'll get these tacked into place so I know where they're lined. Lop, lop, shrink, weld, weld, and then I'll take the whole assembly back off, weld the muffler back together again, and then we can permanently bolt the motor down. And then it's just wiring and throttle and choke crap left, and then vroom vroom. Just welding. Bam. Okay. Decided to just flip this thing over. That way the exhaust at the bottom. Didn't even think about that. But so tacked up, tacked up, tacked up. Now we'll take the muffler off the motor. Final weld the whole turd up. And then we can actually bolt this motor down for good. Right? Yeah, hopefully. We can bolt it down for good. So let's get this off and get this welded up. Alright, motor's bolted down and the exhaust is on, and typical high quality welds. So next we're going to need a fuel tank, I think. So I'm gonna go dig through some crap I've got put together a fuel tank. Let's do that next. And then it'll just be wiring and battery and shit, so. Alright, dig through the pile. Alright, choke, throttle, both are working. I don't know if I'm really crazy about them being like where they're at, but kind of backed myself into a corner using shitty old cables I had laying around. They were only so long. I couldn't quite get either one of them over, being the choke cable heads that way, and I have to get something longer, but yeah, whatever, close enough. So wiring. So got the fuel tank in place. Just waiting for a hose clamp, big hose clamp, to clamp that down secure. The only thing left is then wiring, and I'm thinking, well, what the hell? I found this new electrical box laying around. We'll put it someplace like this, I guess, and put our start button and power off on switch there, I guess. And then the starter cylinder, we can just either, you know, put that down there someplace, I guess. That'll work. So let's make some cables and make some wiry crap and do some bolty and stuff like that and see what happens. Alright, battery hold down bracket. We've got a couple pieces of all thread here bolted into the main frame here, hold the battery down. So now we're gonna cut a hole down, I guess we'll call it. So we'll lop that off around the edges, drill some holes in it, and we've got a means of holding the battery into place. I didn't even bother to check if that was a good place for the battery, but that's where it's going for now. Alright, we'll put that down later. Let's get some battery cables around here. I got solenoid in, I got my box, so we'll have a start button in here, push button, that's this wires here, momentary push to turn the start it, and then I'll have an on-off switch thingy, something here to turn it off, turn the engine off. I believe it's just ground to dead. I do have to find the regulator and everything else. Oh, that's the regulator right there. What the hell? So wherever these wires here go, I gotta run them someplace. Imagine they go back to the battery somewhere, so figure that out. Not probably right now, but we'll figure that out. So let's get some battery cables. Negatives and grounds. I'm actually waiting for the switches to come in the mail. They're supposed to be here today, so hurry up, Amazon. Cable making 101, I guess. I don't know. I probably do it wrong, but these crimp type, these deals, crimp slash solder. I always solder mine, but I always do a little crimp first. Get it like so. Give it a little tappy tap tap. We'll do a squishy squish squish. And then put a little denty dent. Kind of, I don't know, half-ass crimp if you don't have a big crimping tool, which I don't. And then I actually do solder them. Probably unnecessary, but you know, what the hell. I like to solder shit. Especially when I cool little torches. Just little cool little torches. Yeah, I don't know if it's really necessary, but I don't know. I like prettying my cables up a little bit. Throw a little piece of heat shrink over them. I don't know if it actually helps at all, but like I said, it makes them look a little prettier. So yeah, I got a heat gun, but it's way over there someplace. I don't feel like going and getting it. There you go. Positive cable done. Let's get that on there. Well, I was just testing a starter-ish, just seeing if it would turn over, and the goddamn thing started. So, problems. I don't have no way to turn it off. I got lucky. So it won't run with the choke on, or the choke off, I should say. So it starts and runs with the choke on. So fortunately, I was able to turn it off by just closing the choke. So I need to figure out how to turn it off. I'm fiddling with some wiring over here, which has been unsuccessful. One of these got to be. This is all voltage regulator stuff, so this is all got to be just power out stuff. So I need to find the We'll find the wire to how to kill the damn thing. So I'll have to dig around for that. But anyways, it ran. Right? Yep, ran. We all seen it. So we'll have to figure out why it's not running with the choke off. And number two, how the hell we turn the damn thing off. But you've seen the ram moved, so it has actually a log splitter at this point. So let's tear the cover off, the flywheel cover off, and see if there's a wire that it's snapped off somewhere or something. And then I'll have to extend these wires out, and something there's got to go to the battery to charge, if it still works. I don't know, maybe it doesn't work. Let's get the cover off. Well, there you go. Engine swapped a log splitter. I've engine swapped a lot of things, but never a log splitter. Huge success. This thing has been such a nightmare to deal with, that motor that was on there. Some days it would start, sometimes a one old point system. It was just done. This motor purrs like a kitten. Super happy with it. Plenty of horsepower. Doesn't miss a, just miles right through it. It's a little bit of a small unit. It's not a real big ram. Probably should get a longer ram for it, but you know what? Not gonna muck with it. It does exactly what I need to do. We don't heat with wood, but we just it's just fire pit stuff. Sitting around drinking beers around the fire pit, so not that critical. Plus, trees. Trees are coming down. I got 2 more oaks I got to take down, so I got to split them. Lots of stumps I've been digging up since we bought the place. It all needs to be split and stacked up. So there you go. Engine swapped, log splitter, now with the V-twin. Works good. Very happy. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon.